Hey, yo, what's going on, guys? This is your boy Will Fresco, and in today's video I want to share with you guys my favorite Moze build thus far. Alright, so this is my Terror Moze build. What is a Terror build? It's exactly what it sounds like. We're gonna use a whole bunch of anointed Terror items to buff up our damage and do the most damage possible. Now, I know some of you guys do not like Terror items, or you guys want them just to go away, but hold on a second. You know what I mean? Take a second to test them out. Now, there are a lot of buffs and they could actually make your characters very OP. Now with Moze, a lot of people that made Moze, everybody knows this about Moze. She's a freaking tank, alright? Moze is bait. I want to show you guys how much damage we can actually do with Moze if you do the damage build and then you put the anointed Terror items on top of that. She becomes the absolute tank. You know what I mean? She's like freaking Optimus Prime. That's what she becomes. She's a one-man army. Alright? So I want to show you guys exactly how I'm making this work, you know what I'm saying, how everything works and stuff like that with the Terror items, because this build is still going to be viable even after the event is over. Once the event is over, you know, we lose the green skulls, so you can't get terrorized, you don't get the terror effect. But hold on, yes, you still get the terror effect. I'm going to show you guys exactly how that's going to work. So if you still aren't farming for these items, I highly recommend you do so, because once the event is over, then these items go away, unless they bring it back next year for like Halloween Harvest Part 2 or something, you know what I mean? But as of now, this is while the items are here. This come December 5th, I believe that's when the event is over, the items go away. There will be no more heck, there will be no more green skulls. You can't get terrorized by them anymore, which is kind of a relief because the green skulls are kind of annoying, but you are still able to apply terror to yourself. Now for my PC dudes that want to test this build out, I will have a link in the description for my save file so that you guys can download it and you guys can test it out. You know what I'm saying? Tweak the skill tree if you want and stuff like that. Make it your own and have some fun with it. Alright? So with that out the way, let's just jump into the skill tree real quick. I want to show you guys exactly what we're working with. Alright, we're going to start at the bottomless mags. Not too much going on here, but I'll show you what I got. Cloud of Lead. Occasionally, Moze and Iron Bear shots will deal additional incendiary damage and won't consume ammo. Alright, sometimes you're gonna shoot, you're not gonna consume ammo. That's basically what that means. 5 out of 5 over there, because I gotta get to the second tier. Now, keep in mind, this has nothing to do with Iron Bear. I'm just doing this for Moze. Iron Bear is gonna be there just as a tool to get the terror effect onto ourselves. We're gonna jump into Iron Bear and jump back out. But Iron Bear has nothing to do with this build besides just getting us the terror effect. Next is Stoke of Embers. Increases Moze and Iron Bear's incendiary damage. Incendiary damage 30%. So we get a 30% boost on the incendiary damage. Why not? It's more damage. That's what we're aiming for. Next, Redistribution. After Moze scores a critical hit, she regenerates ammo for a few seconds. Again, very self-explanatory. Critical hit, regenerate ammo. Ammo regen. That's all it is. Now, this is going to go in conjunction with one of the other skills. I'll show you guys exactly which one. Alright, next, Demolition Woman. Let's start up here. Fire in the Skag Den. Whenever Moze deals splash damage, she deals bonus incendiary damage. More damage. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to output the most damage possible. 5 points over there. Means of Destruction. Whenever Moze deals splash damage, there is a chance to add ammo to her currently equipped weapons magazine, with a smaller chance to return a grenade. So, splash damage. This is concentrated on splash damage. So we're going to use weapons with splash damage. I might not use splash damage. I don't want to use the flagger. I kind of want to use the butcher or something else. The butcher doesn't have splash damage, but my grenades do, alright? So it's going to have the same effect. If you use a flagger or I don't know, anything with splash damage, a hornet or whatever, then this is going to come into play big time. Even though it's still going to come into play with the grenades on its own, with a splash damage weapon, it's going to even, you're not going to run out of anything. Put it like that. Torque Cross Promotion. All splash damage dealt by Moze had the chance to double in size. Now, not only are you going to be doing splash damage and getting ammo for that, you're also going to double it in size. So you're going to be making a whole bunch of ammo. That means your grenades ain't going to run out. Your ammo's not going to run out. Sometimes you're not even going to use freaking ammo when you're shooting. You know what I mean? So you're going to have large magazines, or it's going to seem like, except for the flagger, it's only one shot. It don't matter what you do to it. Even if you have a Terror anointed flagger where it has the chance to shoot an extra projectile, it never does. Alright, just keep that in mind. Next, pull the Holy Pin. Moze's grenades have a chance to score a critical hit, dealing greatly increased damage. Sources of critical hit damage do not affect grenade critical hits. All right, so now you can score critical hits with the grenades. That is freaking huge because some grenades are OP, and you score a critical hit with that. It's damage. Again, the key word, damage. That's what we're doing. Now, keep in mind this right here with the critical hits, right? Now, since you can score critical hits with the grenades, what happens is with this skill right here, which is after Moze scores a critical hit, she regenerates ammo. You'll also be regenerating ammo. So that is why I told you earlier, remember this right here, all right? Just remember, it's going to come into play. All right, and last on this tree right here is Vampire. Whenever Moze damages an enemy with a thrown grenade, for every enemy hit, she restores a portion of her missing health. Health regen, that's all it is. Throw a grenade, your health come back. This is how we're going to stay alive. All right, Shield of Retribution. Let's start off with Armored Infantry. While Moze's shields are active, she gains damage reduction and increased gun damage. Again, we love the gun damage. As long as you have shield, you're gonna get the damage reduction and increased gun damage. Now, we're never gonna run out of shield. That's why we have the Vampire skill on the other skill tree. And as long as we have shield, we're gonna get the damage reduction and the gun damage. We're also running a Bloodletter setup, which is 1 HP, and we are gonna have the max amount of shield as possible. With the 1 HP and we're gonna have like 50,000 shield, right? So we're gonna be good, which is actually gonna be more than if you was running a shield and HP, if that makes any sense. But that is exactly how it's gonna work. So we're always gonna have shield. Again, that's why we're using the Vampire with the grenades, and we're always going to have the gun damage and the damage reduction. Vladoff Ingenuity. Moze's maximum shield is increased and she gains resistance to shock damage. Again, we're running a 1 HP build, and the shield is very crucial to this. So now we have even more shield. So that's freaking great. Thin Red Line. A portion of Moze's health is reserved and cannot be restored, but her maximum shield is increased by the same amount. Again, we're running a 1 HP build, but it goes off of her base health. That's going to be put on reserve and added to her maximum shield. So now we have even more shield. All right, that's awesome. Drowning in Brass. Kill skill. Killing an enemy grants Moze a stack of Drowning in Brass. For each stack of Drowning in Brass, Moze fire rate is reduced, but gun damage is increased. I'm not big for the fire rate reduction. I'd rather have higher fire rate. And the gun damage, I only put one there for multiple reasons. I needed to get down on the tree. And also, that's not going to hurt. You know what I mean? But I didn't want to lose fire rate, so I didn't really add anything there. Experimental Munitions. Whenever Moze scores a critical hit, she deals bonus incendiary damage. That's self-explanatory. Crit hit, more damage. Why not? Desperate Measures. Moze's gun damage is increased depending on how low her health is. The lower her health, the greater the increase. We are running 1 HP, so our base health is always low. Keep that in mind. So does that mean we're gonna have increased gun damage? Probably, yeah, up to 67%. So since we're running the Bloodletter setup, like I said, our shield is gonna be at full capacity, but our health is going to be low. Always 1 HP. All right, let's take a quick look at the equipment real quick. Let's take a quick look at our gear. We're going to start off with the shield. And this is going to become crucial. It becomes more important once the event is over. This is Terror Anointed, obviously. On action skill end, apply Terror to yourself every 5 seconds for the next 18 seconds. Now, once the event is over, it is crucial to have either a weapon, an artifact, a grenade, or a shield that has this as an anointment. Now, keep in mind, right now it's not that important only because there's green skulls everywhere. If you're confronted by a green skull, let it hit you because it's going to make you buff. All right, it's gonna buff you. It's gonna make you beast. It's gonna increase your fire rate and your damage, and it does nothing but good stuff for you. All right, so let the green ghost hit you for now. Once the event is over, you're going to need this, preferably on a grenade, an artifact, or a shield. You don't really want it on a weapon because if you don't have that weapon equipped and then the action skill ends, you don't get terror. You know what I mean? But a grenade, a shield, or an artifact, you will always have equipped. All right, keep that in mind. Very crucial. Now, once that you have terror applied to yourself, this is what happens to our weapons. While terrified, gain increased damage and fire rate. While terrified, etc. You guys get the point, right? While terrified, increased damage and fire rate. Yeah, they're all like that, except the laser exploder. The laser exploder is gain increased crit damage. These are all terror anointed. Like I said, I'm gonna put this on a save file for you guys to download only on PC. Sorry, console players, we can't do that on console yet. But for my PC players, you guys will be able to get all these weapons and anything else I got over here. I got a whole bunch of terror items, so you guys can play along with it. All right, let's move on with the gear. we're going with a bloodletter because we are going to concentrate on 1 HP and everything is going to go to our shield. With the bloodletter, if Moze would be healed, she gains shields instead. So if you pick up any syringes or health or anything like that, it's going to go to your shield. So anything that is supposed to go to your health is going to get transferred over to your shield. This is where the death list comes in. Reserves all but 1 health. Do not be wary because you have 1 health. You're absolutely fine. We're actually going to be pretty friggin' beasts. You're going to have actually more health than you would if you had shield and health, right? All right, next, cloning gas core. The cloning gas core, it is not the best gas core out there, but this grenade is absolutely beast. Splash damage, all that good stuff, which is going to give us ammo regen, and it's going to do a whole bunch of good. Now, this could also work with a Merv Hex or whatever grenades you want. But I'm using this one just to keep the whole terror theme. You know what I mean? I could not get the Vindicator gas core, which is the beast of a beast. Now you have the cloning gas core, which it splits in 2 grenades in flight. You have the roided one, which gives that 20% extra damage. Now the Vindicator is the best of both worlds, right? If the cloning gas core and the roided gas core had a baby, it would be the Vindicator. The Vindicator splits into, it multiplies, and it also gives you the damage buff. All right, so I'm gonna try to get it for you guys. If I'm able to get it, I swear I'll make a video on it and I'll put it on a save file so you guys can get it straight from the source, from me. All right, now that we took a look at what's going on over here, let's jump into the field and let's see what we can do. All right, so we're gonna test this out in Athenas because there's a couple of bad guys over here that I don't like, and we're in the neighborhood, so why not just stop by and say hi. Now we do have some ratchets over here. They're pretty easy to kill. Again, if you find yourself losing health, throw yourself a grenade. The damage you do onto others from the grenade goes into your health. So that's freaking awesome. Over here we got Chupacambrach. Yeah, this guy, he's a pushover. Nothing. Now again, I still haven't got terrorized, so I'm still not even getting the buffs. I am getting my buffs, just the regular buffs from my build, but I still haven't gotten no terrorized buff. I haven't terrorized myself. I just want to play normal just to show you guys the difference. Alright, now before I enter this area, what I'm going to do is I'm going to terrorize myself by jumping into Iron Bear and jumping back out. Alright, that's all you got to do. Now look, you see the green aura? Now we terrorize. Now we're doing a whole bunch of, look, my fire rate increased. My damage is through the roof. I'm just melting these dudes. Throw yourself a gas core. Ha ha ha. There you go. If you see the green skulls, yo, let them hit you, man. That's free buff. Like, these dudes are just gonna, they literally just melt, bro. It's like walking through a wet paper bag. You ever try to punch a wet paper bag? That's what it's like. Look, the fire rate is ridiculous. This is like an AR. Look. Gone. It just melts them. You know what I mean? Like they're just little speed bumps. Now we got more dudes over here. This build is gonna work whether you're terrorized or not. Again, low on health. Throw some gas cores. Throw some grenades. This honestly, the whole regeneration thing, it actually works awesome with the hex grenades. But to keep up with the whole thing with the gas terror, ghost, whatever. Yeah, I'm using the gas cores just for that mainly. Yeah, I hate these calls. Like, I can't hit, like little freaking mosquitoes. And I do dropped a lot of, how many he dropped? 1, 2, 3 legendaries. Fearmonger. I got all of this already. 2 Fearmongers. Interesting. Alright, we're going to head over to Traunt. Alright, let's see how long it takes us to kill this dude. Again, jump into Iron Bear. We're gonna do this terrorized, alright, with the buffs. Throwing some grenades. He's immune to corrosive, right? Yeah, he is. It doesn't matter. Look, it's still melting him. It's insane. Again, this is with the buffs. Look, he's melting away. Look. He just melted away. That was Terror Moze right there. Just melted him away. Like I just put an ice cream in the microwave. Done. Alright? So now you guys can see exactly what this build does. Go play, have a little fun with it. I showed you guys the build. I showed you guys what equipment I have and stuff like that. For my PC players, if you guys want to download the save file, is in the description. Just click on the link and yeah, just put it into your game and then you'll have this exact build. All right, so I hope I taught you guys something. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If I helped you out in any way, shape or form, then definitely drop a like. And if you're new to the channel and want to stay up to date with my Borderlands 3 content, then definitely consider subscribing. Also, come join the Discord. There's a lot of people there that you guys can co-op with, make friends, trade, do all that good stuff. Go join the Discord. I'll put the link in the description and I'll also pin it in the comments. All right. So anyway, like always, I hope you guys enjoyed the video and I will catch you guys on the next one. All right. Peace.